Hey everyone, my apologies for the tech glitch. Um, Hopefully you all can find me here. I'll give everyone a few moments to rejoin. Nothing like keeping us on our toes to meet the moment with love, not fear. I'm going to begin today with a question I got in the chat, which it's an observation and a question. So welcome to those of you finding your way back over here. Sorry again for the tech glitch. Here's the comment and the observation and the question that we'll begin with while we wait for everyone to find their way over here and before we begin any activations today here on day 6 of 12. Here's the comment I got. Thank you for seeing and encouraging our power. This is from Golden Rose 1444. I've noticed that since I've been receiving these activations, the people I am connected to are experiencing major shifts. Are they receiving the transmissions as well? So it's a really compelling question, and I thought it would be an amazing place to start on day 6 here. So welcome, everybody. Thanks for finding your way over here. Sorry for the tech glitch. Lovely to see you all. Oh, I'm so great you could make the live first time this week. So I will say this as well. We're at day 6 out of 12. And last night I was told that we need to take an integration pause. As usual, when I roll something out like this, I think, 12 days of joy. It'll be so nice. And huge clearings and activations come through. And everyone needs some time to integrate before we keep going. The bigger picture, of course, is that we are riding some really powerful, amplified, accelerated dimensional blend. So post winter solstice, a lot is shifting at almost like breakneck speed. Part of me is like, wait, now the world's ready for the inner tech at this level? And it's like, yep, get ready. If you're just joining me and found your way over here from the tech glitch, thanks for your patience. I'm just kind of giving you all an overview of, the inner directive last night was like, okay, take a time out, let everybody integrate for a few days, and then we'll resume. I'm not exactly sure when, maybe New Year's Day. I'll just kind of, follow the inner directives as we go. But back to the question I got. Somebody observed that the people around them as well are experiencing major transformations. And it's like, are they receiving them as well? And I thought this would be a really compelling place to start before we do any more clearing or activation today, to just read the field. And of course, here comes the information. Like as soon as, you get the question going, it's like, here comes the whole download. So essentially, those of you who are compelled to show up here are acting as leverage points. We live in a unified field, even though we largely ignore that because we live in the conditioning of separation consciousness. So absolutely, the kind of massive template shifts you are in training now in your fields cannot but help shift the reality around you. And the people you're closest to will feel that those transformations keenly. So because you share a lot of, it's the same way like people will start to entrain with one another. They'll speak similarly, use the same expressions. I'm sure you've experienced this where you think of someone, they call, you start having similar thoughts. The entrainment is very active with people who are close to one another, and not just close in physical proximity, but just close, connected. Maybe you talk a lot, you think of them a lot, that sort of thing. So this is the powerful alchemy of unity consciousness, is that when some of us decide, okay, we're going to start moving, it starts to invite and magnetize. That's the energetic invitation that we were shown earlier in the week. So what a compelling observation and question. And of course, it's quantum entanglement, right? Spooky action at a distance. So all of what Einstein was talking about. And no surprises, no coincidences in my world. Right before I got on, I was listening to a podcast with a guy who has talked about the interdimensional Sasquatch people, ancient people, forest friends, for decades, and only recently was given the green light by the government to begin really disclosing everything he knows. And I thought that was really interesting that was mentioned right before I came on here. My channel recently started to grow in a quantum way for years of just being held and held and held. And I'm realizing that a huge piece of my role on the planet is to bring forward the intertech revolution very publicly and speak to and deliver and bring these intertech advancements out like we're doing here. And that it is, it's not having to work around anything anymore. It's going right through. And I'm going to use metaphors as best I can to describe a lot of this, but essentially, there's nothing stopping us from our own personal ascension, and ascension just meaning living in a greater state of happiness, joy, harmony. And then the multidimensional physics get pretty interesting, health and wellness. So as I'm saying those words, what I'm being shown is like there are just a lot of template adjustments that are being made at this time. So it's a lot of like geek speak for yeah, we're evolving in real time. This is a really exciting time to be incarnate and going through some massive shifts that, you know, I don't think our grandparents could have even fathomed, right? It wasn't even part of the theoretical set of constructs that were available, unless they were into mysticism, which some were, you know. So thank you for that question. It was wonderful to be able to reflect on that. And so, yes, please know that what you are doing here goes far beyond your own individual walk and is contributing to helping to shift the reality field. I am being told right now it is still up to a person's free will choice and their soul contract. So there's free will choice at the soul planning level and plans we made before we got here that we forgot about. So you have to keep that in mind too. It's not just the individual human who forgot that they are a soul having an experience or beyond a soul, because some of us are structures that are beyond that. I've often been told I'm a stargate, and stargates right now are bringing through kind of coming, reaching down in and inviting like a walk and a path in your own multidimensional structure back up into a higher harmonic of being. And the English language, we're limited to try to describe what's going on, but many of you are feeling it. You're feeling the energy, you're feeling the shift, you're noticing how different you relate to your own identity construct, to your children. Thank you for all the comments and the reflections. If you haven't read them, go in and read the comments. It's beautiful. So again, we are going to take an integration pause after today for a few days, probably 3-4 days. I'm not really sure. I'll let you know when it kicks back up. If you're not on my email list, go here. Probably should just make this easy for you. I'll be announcing it, you know, when it kicks back up there. The way you get on the email list is just grab the daily meditation. In the interim, definitely use the daily med because it will help you clear things out of your field. And that free meditation has changed people's lives. And I'm always talking about psychic hygiene. So yeah, we have gone through some really powerful clearings and activations in the last 5 days, and it's important to integrate going forward. So if you missed that at the beginning, we will be taking a little pause and then resuming at some point. Okay, so with that, it's lovely to see you all here. Yeah, Miriam, you appreciate the integration pause. Yeah, it's like, woo. Marlene, you had a client who was responding to yesterday's transmission. That's beautiful. Yeah, for a lot of practitioners, what I'm being shown is your presence alone is all that's needed. Yeah, you're going to end up probably saying some things and doing some things that people or clients are used to, but it's multidimensional technological shifts are profound in that you do not have to be in physical proximity whatsoever for all of this to start to roll out. It's more like what I'm being shown and told right now is just invite the reflection, develop the awareness to see the reflection being brought your way. For example, this morning, what I noticed during my coffee quiet time, where I sit on the front porch out in the snow and everyone's still asleep and it's dark, is that everything felt extra quiet today, like a seed in soil, waiting for just the right conditions. And that my job, if you will, now, and I'll relay this to all of you, is to rest and integrate. And so much has been planted, right? Seeds have been planted, and that it's kind of that void space before reality begins to like come out of the void fully formed. This is what I was shown on the mountain in North Carolina when I was in 2 years of hermitage. It was, you take all of your old constructs back into the fertile soil of the void, and then in the right ideal conditions, usually when we're talking vibronics and where the collective consciousness is at, everything will start to come up in fully formed constructs. It's just a really different relationship to how to do reality. It's not the linear way. So that's what we're being encouraged to do during this integration time, to the extent that you can. And hopefully many of you can, because we're in a very conventional vacation window. Just go into chrysalis, into like the underground soil, the void phase, even if it's just for a few days. The reason I'm being shown this is important is because otherwise you'll end up kind of like, somebody's got a sense of humor, dragging like a piece of toilet paper on your foot out of the bathroom, right? Not even knowing it. Like you'll end up unconsciously dragging remnants of old constructs forward. So really focus on letting go of how you used to do everything to the extent that you can. And even if you're still active and busy, in the activeness, in the busyness, how much can you set down and not be in the same old mode, right? So here we go, like relax the tension. We don't realize how much we're like white knuckling, leaning forward, bracing for, right? So relax the jaw, soften the gaze, focus on the breath, drop all of your awareness from your mind to the heart. It doesn't have to be hard. You can still do it the old way if you want to, but we don't have to. We don't have to. So let's start. Yeah, there we go. Let's just start to set all of that down. What's happening via my field, I can tell, is we're really setting up the stage for integration to happen. So we're bringing the nervous system way down, downshifting it. Yeah, there we go. Lots is happening back in here. Take another deep breath and set it all down now. Yeah. I'm laughing because when you all set that down, all the stuff, the lightning that happens is amazing. So it's so out of force of habit, so common to try to pick up all those heavy suitcases again and lug them with you. Just don't. Just set them back down. Yeah. Yeah, as you do that, and my field helps you do that, the heart is clearing out. Specifically, it's very important before you cross the threshold of the old self and the new year to let go of old grievances, stories. These stories about who's done you wrong and why, what it's done to you, including yourself, including beating up on yourself for past mistakes. I'm being shown that one's getting highlighted big time. You don't get to carry that baggage across the threshold of the new self. Yeah, there we go. It's all clearing out from here now. Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, I'm going to yawn because that was a big clearing from the heart. There's a lot of old grief. Yeah. Holding grudges, not just against others and grievances, but against yourselves. Ooh, yeah. It's clearing a lot here too. And the way that you speak against yourself, not just with, verbal word, but in thought stream, is coming to a close now, into something much softer and gentler, much more kind and compassionate, letting go of all the hyper judgment of the ancestral line. Ooh, yeah, it's like taking barbs out of the heart. Ooh. Wowza. Remember that people's harsh judgments of us are always a reflection of our own. So if we get zinged by other people's judgments, it's just reflecting to us the barbs that we are aiming at ourselves, right? The psychic darts. So there's a lot of extraction of that right now. And we're going gently because there's a lot of this for many of you here on the live and well beyond whenever you happen to be watching this. Here we go. That's feeling better. For some, without being conscious of it, you are conditioned and patterned to focus on how others disapprove of you. Oh, that's just clearing out massively. That's a big clearing. The crown just opened. Yay, the crown is opening. This lateral focus kind of in a heightened state of fight or flight or freeze or fawn. The trauma response is to become hyper alert of how others reject you, disapprove of you. And this, while an important adaptive survival strategy, is a massive energy suck. Ooh, yeah, so we're clearing all that. Ooh, there we go. I felt many of you go back up into your own central column and like, ooh, you're not so pulled like sticky tape out here. Take another deep breath. Is that all? Oh, that feels so much better, y'all. Woohoo! Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's so much more running the way it should be here. And just for the record, it doesn't mean that all judgment from others cease. It means that it doesn't bother you. It doesn't trigger you. It just has nothing to stick onto, right? Oh, this feels so much better as I use my field as a proxy, like the solar plexus, the heart, like everything feels so much better. And now they're saying, okay, important clearing, and then let's downshift our nervous system again. We're going down from, like, a lot of us can be in high rev. If you ever drove stick shift, right? Fifth gear, down, not just a third, but they want us down at 2 and at 1 today. Just nice and slow. There we go. It's like slow your roll. Slow down to speed up is how one of my peers phrased it recently. Again, because we don't want to be carrying all the old constructs forward. So let's let them all return to the void now. Yeah, there we go. Now, something interesting is happening. I'm becoming aware of, as you do this, yeah, the people around you will feel it. Because for many of you, you've been the keystone that's been holding up the whole structure, the empath, the rescuer. People have really relied on you as the old soul. So as this comes apart, the people around you might start to flounder a bit and not know what to do. And I sense in the field, what I'm picking up is the huge fear of being left behind and abandonment. So I'm working with my team. There we go. And for those that want to come along, pathways are being illuminated. Yeah, there's a lot of relief. Yeah, there we go. And then you won't feel that enervation as much yourself. Of really opening up everyone's own pathway within themselves so they don't have to rely on you. You can be an encouraging presence and an amazing example, absolutely, but you shouldn't feel that pulling that you can sometimes feel energetically when people are not centrally sourced themselves within their own structure. It kind of becomes a parasitic relationship, right? Where they're having to hook in laterally because they forgot, hey, wait, I am source. I have my own central column. I can connect in, I can inner source, I can inner heal, I can do all the stuff. I'm being shown that's all going to come online quickly. So what will be most helpful for you to provide is spoken support and encouragement. They're having the experience. They're not going to need to rely on you energetically. This all feels really good. And there's a tremendous amount that's opening up here now in the upper energy centers in your own view shed about what's possible going forward. And you will see things very differently, much more clearly and cleanly without the distortional lens. Oh man, it's like the house of mirrors sometimes in this realm. Yeah. There's just some lingering anxiety in the heart center for some. I can feel that. So we're going to alchemize that home. Perfect. Oh, take a nice deep breath. Whew. And then we're going to downshift again. Just stay nice and downshifted. Beautiful. Okay. Now that we've gotten through the clearings and activations, I'm going to go back to the chat. Your chiropractor had tingles through your whole visit with her yesterday. That's beautiful. Right? What's going on? You're activated. Your activation is activating others, is what I'm being shown. Yes, Stargate Central Station. The stillness is palpable now. Yeah, it's almost like something goes down to like net zero before it like reinitiates, almost like in the opposite direction. It's the metaphor I'm being given. Yeah, Jim, you were going to go skiing right after the transmission and just don't feel like it. Rest and integrate. Yeah. The 5 integrations have wiped you out. Yeah. Must have really needed it. Yeah. And it just, we're engaging in massive activations. They're not tiny ones. They're huge. So just keep that in mind and really let yourself rest. For the next few days, myself will plan to do next to nothing. Sarah Renee, when we were setting it all down, you felt a shell of your body go too. Perfect. One of those protective layers just. Lori, hyper judgment from the ancestral line. You've done so much work on this. Yeah, you're so welcome for the clearing. Yeah, when we got to that point, I literally felt like there were hooked barbs in my heart. Like, oh gosh. And when that's all we know, when the adults model that for us, it just has gotten passed down, down and down. It's almost like I'm being shown like before we can get kicked in the teeth, we'll do it ourselves. Like the odd ways in which humans have devised to survive, in a realm where we're exploring everything that is not love. Valuable exploration, but really exciting to be in the reclamation phase now. Your daughter joined you today, Sarah Grace. That is beautiful. That's awesome. The Daily Med, Valerie, is on my homepage. It's the gift meditation, but I'll post the link. I just posted it there for you. I often tell people do 30 days straight, morning and night of that. You will be a different person. Colin, a big flock of geese flying over you. Beautiful. Aurora Luminary Tage, you feel lightning in the gut as grief releases, as well as the release of those who rely on you as the old soul. I always mention that it's not a push-pull feeling if it's naturally occurring within. Absolutely. Yeah, there's like I feel like people like skipping like kids instead of a lot of that old, like, anxiety and consternation and not knowing where to go. Sarah Renee, you mentioned Sasquatch family in the beginning. Do you know if there's a way to connect with them, even if we live in the city? I see their pictures and stickers everywhere and think of them often. I'm thinking you're in Phoenix. The guy that I was listening to right before this interview was speaking about that area. They know about you. So they are very aware. They're super highly telepathic. So what I would encourage you to do is just every day go outside, put your face in the sun is what I'm being shown, and ask for a teacher to help with your heart purity. Ooh, there's a lot of energy on that. And then allow a Sasquatch member, an Ancient One member, to show up, self-select. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you are. Boy, we can get into the physics of that. It's fascinating. All right, where are we here? Kelly, you feel so much lighter in your chest and sinuses, energized. Perfect. Hi, Dr. Gail Sky, Walking with Moon. Nice to see you here. Thanks for joining us. Jenny, your kitties are doing this with you, and your crown's open and spinning. Beautiful. Miriam, you feel a similar pull from the ocean and places on Earth. Any support tech tools to allow similar inner source relations with land and sea? Yeah, become the ocean and become one with the ocean. They're saying to go there first, and then everything comes out from there. Almost like primordial sea. It's the plasmic sea of consciousness. There we go. That just linked you in. And someone in the comments yesterday asked about the divine complement. What am I talking about there? on my YouTube channel in the vlogs in February, March, I did a whole thing on the divine complement because my team started coming in and preparing me for the arrival of this person, this phenomenon, this dynamic. So you can find that on the website in the blog section in the archives. You're welcome, Chris. Feeling very emotional now and open. What a relief. That's what it should feel like. It should feel like, oh, I can breathe and whew. Yeah, so Janine, your husband seems to be having more anxiety. I feel he's confused about my energy. Is this happening with our spouses? Yeah, anybody connected to us, especially if they relied on us, are getting the chance now to be much more inner source themselves, because that's the template that you're running now. And it's anxiety he's had, but he's not had to deal with that because it was running through your processor. So now it's a chance for him to be able to take all of that on. That's really, really common in dynamics in families. The women have been taking on everybody else's stuff, and it's not great for our health, if you know what I mean. The other way that it was referenced when I was doing the work to reassure and help people find their own path forward was that grasping of like, where'd you go? Where are you going? You're leaving me. It's like a generalized anxiety. Oh, thanks, Sarah Renee, for letting people know where they can find the divine complement. Under videos, click popular. It's the first one. Yeah, the other day when I was searching for information online about the divine complement, I'm like, I need some help navigating this stuff. It's very sobering when it's your own video and article that shows up as like very few resources and references available. I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's back to me, right? Which is a great example of you can get your own information direct from the field, direct from the all that is, right? Rosemary, could you speak more about some of us being something more or other than just one soul? Yeah, this gets into really interesting territory. Essentially, I'll speak from my direct experience. I always knew I was somewhat different. I always felt like I don't know what I'm doing here. But I went into a very conventional life. And then in 08, 9, 10, 11, my awakening, it was like, you're up. And all the stuff started happening. And then over the last 15 years, basically what's happened is I went into an understanding of this much greater structure that I am, where all these we are all multidimensional beings. We all have, greater structures. But some of us are agreed to take on a role of playing like Stargate, like big, big structures. And beings from beyond this universe can come through. Like there was a part of me in 21 that went home. It's not even here anymore. Some of you have heard of walk-ins. So we're essentially talking about soul, the oversoul, the monadic self, MONADIC. And it really, I don't want to get too lost in a lot of the theoretical constructs. It's much more about what does that mean your presence brings to the planet? And for many of you, you're meant to be a walking open heart portal. So that's why clearing the heart center, clearing the field, opening back up the heart is so important, because it's like directly tied to the heart of your service, pun intended. Dance monkey, I love that handle. Seeing more clearly, eyes feel softer, wider peripheral vision. Feels like less striving to see. That's beautiful. Yeah, because you come out of trauma brain and the aperture isn't like, you can really zoom back out. You don't have tunnel vision. That's beautiful. Welcome, Zoe. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Lots of throat clearing with coughing, personal truth coming through. Yes, beautiful. You're welcome, Janine. Yeah, if you want to go to the ocean, by all means, but really just become the ocean right now. Higher Love series back in May, we became the ocean. We were like rising with the ocean and then like breathing with it. You might go back and do that series. It'll really help you come back into that oneness. That's beautiful. Yes. Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, it has been a lot of shift in these last 6 days, the changing of the guard with our guides. Continue to reflect, leave comments, let me know how it's going. And then whenever I come back in, we'll pick it back up and see where we're guided to go, because I feel like it'll be a whole nother octave. I will continue to release some vlogs that I've recorded, some Q&A, because the one video, I think it has over 30,000 views now, reached a lot of people, and I got a lot of questions. So I've recorded, I think, 4 videos of Q&A. The next one might drop tomorrow. I'll have to check what's on the schedule. But yeah, look for the interim support that way. And then, as always, the next meeting of the Higher Love family is happening next Thursday, the first activation of the month. So those of you who are appreciating this community, and if you're not already in there, I know many of you already are, but that's another amazing place to come continue the activations and be with community. That's a super loving community. Again, that was just a creation out of my own inner directive. It was like, you'll be doing this now. And I was like, doing what? And then it all kind of built itself out. And then, of course, last but not least, I'm practicing the art of receiving, as my team prompts me right now, like, so I will put my donation link in here as well for everyone. And thank you for the super stickers. Thanks, Sarah Renee. You can do that on YouTube as well. So yeah, happy integration, everyone. Rest up, rest well, take good care of yourselves, share some love with each other here as we sign off for now, and then we will be back, I'm just looking because I see I missed a couple. Yeah, letting go of folks who are not in a resource, they're leaning on you, pulling from you. It's never a great feeling. And we don't want that, because otherwise we're rescuing people and we're not letting them learn that themselves and figure that out. So yeah, again, you've really shifted it. You aren't shifting. I heard you, the keystone has been shifted. So the whole structure is different now. So yeah, just as your family constellation probably starts to shift a little bit, I hope this context is helpful, and that, again, just cultivate unconditional love. I am being told that some people, if you want to go back through the series of 6, that is fine, but always listen to your body. If your body's like, I need a break, I need more integration time, definitely listen to that. Yeah. Like, for example, Patty, you ended up with a bad cold and you were still doing your long walks. Yeah, I could tell I'm pushing too hard, so I'm backing way off. Like, you can probably hear I'm getting a little stuffed up. I'm like, okay, got it. Like, we're going to really downshift. We're not going to try to keep the same pace. Oh, Liz, that's awesome. So many shifts, it's difficult to put into words, but bottom line, you feel grateful and open to all that is offered. And that's so beautiful, Liz, because once again, you guys do this so seamlessly. You are the recipient of Awakening Foundations today, Liz. So thanks for just, do you see how everything flows when we're in the zone? Like, I don't have to go reach for anything. It just cues it up so beautifully. So lovely. So right into sarah.info@multidimensionalu.com, and either she or Artemisia will get you linked up with that. And then we'll resume that giveaway of the Awakening Foundations course, that 6-month course, when we resume these lives. All right. I love you all. Give each other love. Send each other like hearts and happy integration. I love watching how you all support one another here. This is the way there's like no trolls here ever. They can't find it. It's on too high a floor. All right. Love you all. Mwah. See you in a few days.